Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and see how far above we are the 20-week moving average. We're also going to be looking at a theoretical future trend line, which is going to take a lot of dubious extrapolation and speculation. And then we're also going to take a look at the implementation of the regression rainbow, the logarithmic regression rainbow of Bitcoin onto TradingView, which is now available to premium subscribers. So if you guys like the content, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. So the first thing to do, the first order of business here is where's the 20-week? Well, it's at 11.5. 20-week is at 11.5, and if we take a measured move on Bitcoin, you can see that we are from the current price measured all the way down. We are about 27, so a 28% drop would get us down to the 20-week, or as measured up, we are over 40, about 41% above the 20-week moving average. So Bitcoin is very bullish right now. It is well above the 20-week moving average. Therefore, it is a very risky time. Does not mean the price cannot go up in the short term. Does not mean we can't push higher just like we did in 2019. But just recognize that we are getting a little bit extended here. Just like we did. I mean, we did this many times during the last market cycle too, right? I mean, this is not anything new. We had pushes like this above the 20-week moving averages several times. Here was one that took us 80% above the 20-week moving average back in June of 2016. This one here, sorry. And actually, this is not actually 80%. I guess as measured from the 20-week at the time, it was only about 57%. But recognize that we've had these many times before, and even in a bull market, we do tend to retrace back to the 20-week moving average. So I would say, if you're just throwing money at Bitcoin, obviously do what you're going to do, but recognize that at some point, no one knows when it's going to come. Insert snarky comment about that, right? No one can know when it's going to come, but at some point we will retrace back to the 20-week moving average, and it will scare a lot of people. One thing I thought that might be interesting is do you guys remember this trend line here that people talked about? And we talked about it on the channel for a while. I even called it like the trend line from hell at one point. Just the idea that this was where we tended to hold some level of resistance several times, and we rode it for a while right here until finally breaking above and potentially starting a bull market for Bitcoin. And if you look at prior cycles, we had similar trend lines as well. This was from the prior cycle, we had this trend line, and once we broke above it, once we really broke above it and sustained it, we were able to start the bull market. And so now, looking at where we currently are, there's a good chance that this is the start of the bull market once we were able to cross this line. However, it would be interesting if in the future we look at this in terms of another type of line. And the only reason I'm saying that is imagine Bitcoin does come back down, okay, and bounces off the 20-week and continues on up. Then I do imagine there will be some people out there that will be talking about this trend line basically, and they might be drawing something like that. And drawing this new macro channel to see, kind of see where the price of Bitcoin is. But again, we don't know if this is going to happen. It's possible that Bitcoin breaks out above this, and then that obviously would change the trend line. But I just want to be aware. I want people to be aware that, yes, it is very bullish right now. Yes, we could continue higher. All of us hope we'll go higher, right? We all want Bitcoin to go higher. Just if you're new to the market, recognize that if you're just throwing money into it, it's gambling rather than, in my opinion, rather than a solid investment, because the solid investments were taking place, in my opinion, back over here in the regression band, in the especially when we were near the fair value of the regression band. Chasing the pump up here at 16K is more or less a gamble if you're expecting a short-term ROI. If you're okay, being here for a while, then I think Bitcoin will bail you out, even buying at 16K if it were to drop in the short term. But if it goes up from here, then you're probably doing great anyways and you don't care. If it goes down from here, recognize that we're still pretty early on in the market cycle, and that overall we're probably going to head up to the upper regression band over the next few years. but we still have a ways to go to get there. Okay, so everyone here is bullish. I think sometimes I give the impression that I'm bearish based on some of the comments I see. I'm not bearish at all. I mean, I think that Bitcoin will tend upwards over the next several years to the upper regression band, right? We've talked about this for a long time. This is what I ultimately see happening. I just want people to remain pragmatic when approaching the market when you're buying an asset that's up 60% in 6 weeks. I just want you to be pragmatic and recognize that it could work out, but it's not the same type of investment had you been buying it in the regression band like we talked about for years on this channel. And by years, I mean in 2019 and 2020 because I started the channel in 2019. Also, I did implement this indicator into TradingView, which are the logarithmic regression rainbow, if you will, and just identifying the fact that, you know, it's nice to have these things in TradingView so that I can quickly pull them up when people have questions about them. Again, you can see we rode this lower regression band here during the last cycle for about 2 years. We've been on this band here and here. Note that this first cycle we held support on this band, or at least we visited this band. The second cycle we came one band down, and then this one we even came another band down when we tested it in March. And if you zoom in, we went down to the very bottom of that regression band. So it's possible that during the next cycle we'll test this regression band down even lower. So again, if you are a premium subscriber, you will get access to this in the next few weeks if you fill out the TradingView form that's associated with that. And remember, if you guys do want access to the premium list, you can find it at intothecryptoverse.com, and you'll get access. Well, actually, this is patreon.com, but if you do intothecryptoverse.com, you'll get access to weekly premium reports, weekly videos, a Telegram alerts channel, a private Telegram chat room, a risk dashboard, which is what I use to trade, as well as some of the TradingView indicators that I talk about and I'm constantly making. You'll get access to those. So check it out. You can pay with crypto for 12 months and get a 15% discount. Going back to the video, or the main point of the video, is just to recognize where we are in the cycle, and we are fairly overblown above the 20-week. We know we can go higher because we've gone higher in the past. We know we can go higher. Again, if you look at the distance from the 20-week, we've seen it go higher many times. It's just that at this phase during the market cycle, it doesn't tend to go that much higher. Is 20K on the cards? Of course, 20K could be on the cards. Is a sustainable 20K on the cards in the short term? Probably not, because if we do go to 20K in the short term, we're going to be, ridiculously over the 20-week moving average, maybe 70% or something, depending on exactly when we get there, or 60 to 70%, depending on exactly when we get there. So I would not expect that to hold if we get there in the short term. So be cognizant of that. Also be cognizant of the fact that we might not make it to 20K in the short term, and that if we don't, we're still on track, right? A lot of people overestimate what Bitcoin can do in the short term and underestimate what it can do in the long term. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Please give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the Telegram channel. Check out the premium list if you want access to the exclusive content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.